So welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs in a very short span of time within 30 minutes. The idea is very simple. We want you to cover your current affairs on a daily basis, but we know that you can't spend your entire day just reading the newspaper. Therefore, for your facility, we will be covering the entire day's important current affairs within 30 minutes. That's all. So that you're left with your entire day covering other parts of your UPSC syllabus. Now, just watching this lecture would be job half done, because just after watching it, you need to revise it as well. Why? Well, revision helps in consolidating these current affairs in your memory. Otherwise, you'll quickly forget them. Now, you can revise these current affairs from the notes provided by us, and these notes shall be shared on our Telegram platform. The link to our Telegram platform is provided in the comment section below. All you have to do is just click on that link, download the notes from our Telegram channel, and do the necessary revision. Okay? Alright. Enough of the introduction. Let's straight away jump into the lecture. But first, let's take a look at the list of topics that we shall cover today. So number one topic is 1 billion tons of coal production. India has broken all records. Okay? This is the highest coal production India has done in 1 year. So India has broken its own record, 1 billion tons of coal produced. Now this news item brings into focus the importance of coal and what types of coal reserves does India have and how does India fare as far as the world is concerned when it comes to coal production. So we'll talk about all these things. Okay. Then Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology launched SwaYaan initiative. This SwaYaan initiative is basically launched to make India a global leader in drone technology. Okay, so what is this SwaYaan initiative? What is drone technology? We'll talk about this. Then recently, UNESCO released UN Water Development Report 2025 on World Water Day, which is March 22nd. And basically in this report, UN talked about the importance of glaciers for freshwater resources. So we'll talk about this report in its totality. And in the end, we'll talk about a feud between Government of India and Twitter, now X's owner Elon Musk. Elon Musk is saying that Government of India's tactic of using Section 79 of Information Technology Act for censorship on Twitter is really a thing in bad faith, and this should be done away with. So we'll talk about Section 79, we'll talk about Information Technology Act and various provisions of this act which are being utilized to stop some type of speech, for example, hate speech, on social media platforms. Okay, so we'll talk about all these four issues. Let's start discussing them, starting with topic number one, which is 1 billion tons of coal production. So, India has achieved a momentous milestone in coal production, surpassing 1 billion tons in fiscal year 2024-25. Now, what do you mean by this term fiscal year? Well, calendar year starts on 1st January and ends on 31st December, right? But fiscal year or financial year starts on 1st April and ends on 31st March next year. That is why it's written 2024-25. So in this fiscal year, India broke all its records of coal production. Now, why is coal important for India? Okay, because if India does not produce enough coal, it will have to import a lot of coal. Okay, and that would raise India's import bill. Therefore, India needs to be self-reliant in coal production. But the thing is, why do we need coal? Okay, India relies on coal for approximately 55% of its energy needs. So 55% of India's energy, whether that's electricity, whether that's transportation energy, everything, okay, comes from coal. Okay, heating, cooking, everything. In fact, 74% of electricity is generated through thermal power plants which use coal as fuel. Okay, so that is why coal is very important. Now, if you need electricity, you need coal. And if India doesn't produce enough coal, well, it will have to rely on imports, and that would raise India's import bill, which is not a good thing. Therefore, this momentous milestone is significant in that regard. This underscores the critical importance of coal in powering India's economy and sustaining energy security. Now, you know why coal is required. Okay, well, India broke its own record. But what is coal? How many types of coal are there? Okay, which type of coal is used in power generation? Which type of coal is used in steel production? Right? All these things need to be answered. And where in India do you find coal? We'll talk about all these things. So first, let's talk about types of coal. Okay, so there are basically 4 types of coal. The best quality of coal is called anthracite. The highest rank of coal, hard, brittle, black and lustrous with high percentage of fixed carbon and low volatile matter. So basically coal is a source of carbon. Okay, the more carbon your coal has, well, the better it is. So anthracite has the highest proportion of carbon. Then next, of lower quality but yet good, rank 2 is that of bituminous, a medium grade coal with high heating capacity, often called black coal. Then third rank is that of subbituminous, a brownish black medium hard coal falling between lignite and bituminous. And then the poorest quality of coal is lignite. The lowest rank of coal, often called brown coal, with the highest moisture content. A lot of it is made up of moisture and very low carbon content. Okay, now you have to know this. India produces large amounts of bituminous and subbituminous. Now, coal reserves in India are mostly bituminous and lignite. Okay, so India has large reserves of lignite, which is poor quality, or bituminous. India has very few reserves of anthracite, the best quality of coal that is available. Okay, in fact, if we talk about globally, the biggest producer of coal in the world is China, and second largest producer is India. Right? So India is the second largest producer of coal. But the catch is, China produces a lot of anthracite. India produces a lot of bituminous. Okay, so India has second rank, but it doesn't produce enough anthracite coal, which is the best quality of coal available. Now, if we talk about coal reserves in India, then here they are. Coal in India. So India has two types of coal. You need to know this about coal. You see, coal is formed after putting carbon under huge amounts of pressure and huge amounts of temperature for very long periods of time. Okay, so how is coal formed in the earth's crust? Well, organic matter like dead plants and dead animals. Organic matter under the earth's crust, well, it is put under high pressure, high temperature, and for very long periods of time. The more the time, the better the quality of coal. So anthracite takes a lot of time to get formed. Okay, many million years. Clear? And the less time Earth took to create coal, poorer the quality of coal. Okay. Now India has two types of coal: Gondwana coal and tertiary coal. The term Gondwana or tertiary comes from the period of Earth's history. So there was a Gondwana era, okay, and tertiary era, epoch, eras, periods. Okay. Now, Gondwana coal is basically found in peninsular India. Just remember this, India has two types of coal, and this categorization is based on the age of coal. So, Gondwana coal is 300 million years old. Okay, it is found mostly in peninsular India like Jharkhand, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh, and Maharashtra. These coal deposits are bituminous and subbituminous in nature, and they are mostly used for power generation and steel making. Okay, steel making also requires coal. Then there is poorer quality of coal called tertiary coal, and the reason why it is poor is because it was formed 15 to 60 million years ago, so less time was taken. Okay, now this tertiary coal is mostly lignite, the poorest quality of coal. Right, we did anthracite, bituminous, subbituminous, lignite. So because tertiary coal took less time, it is lignite. It is mostly found in northeastern states, J&K, Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is the largest producer of lignite coal in India. These coal deposits were formed this time, the 15 to 60 million years ago. Now, which states are producing lignite coal? Assam, Meghalaya, Arunachal, Nagaland, J&K, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Rajasthan. These deposits are lignite and peat. Peat is even poorer quality with low calorific value. Because their calorific value is so low, they are sometimes used in power generation, and they are not at all used in steel making. They are used for domestic heating and all. Okay, people use these categories of coal in their houses for domestic heating. Clear? So maximum coal that is produced in India is Gondwana coal, and that is found mostly in Jharkhand, peninsular India. Now remember, Jharkhand is the biggest producer, largest producer of coal in India. Clear? Now, if we talk about the history of coal production in India, you need to take a look at these set of facts. Okay. So commercial coal mining in India began in 1774 during British rule at Raniganj coal fields in Jharkhand along the Damodar River. Now, there are two types of coal, okay, coking coal and non-coking coal. Now, coking coal, you don't have to know much. Just remember that coking coal is used in steel making. Okay, you need coking coal only because you just remember this, that for steel making you need a particular category of coal called coking coal, And non-coking coal is used for other purposes like power generation and many other things. Okay. So coking coal mines were nationalized in 1972. Nationalized means only government can mine coal and produce coal. So under Coking Coal Mines Act, coking coal mines were nationalized. Then non-coking coal mines were nationalized in 1973. And from 1973 onwards, till 1993, only government had the right to produce coal and mine coal. And because of this nationalization, the largest producer of coal in India became Coal India Limited, which is a government company. In 1993, government amended these two acts and allowed private players to mine coal also. Okay, but still, this 20 years of nationalization made Coal India Limited the largest producer, which the spot it holds today, still today. Okay, makes sense? So remember these facts. Okay, all these facts are mentioned in your notes. Okay, now let's move on to second news item, which is SwaYaan initiative by MeitY. So Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, in collaboration with Drone Federation of India, launched the National Innovation Challenge for Drone Application and Research, NIDAR, under SwaYaan. Full form of SwaYaan is Capacity Building for Human Resource Development in Unmanned Aircraft Systems Initiative. Okay, makes sense? Now, Ministry of Electronics launched with Drone Federation of India NIDAR Challenge. NIDAR Challenge is part of SwaYaan initiative. So NIDAR Challenge is basically a challenge. What do you mean by challenge? That there will be a contest. Different people, different research scholars, different students would come and showcase their prowess or showcase their talent in drone production or drone technology. Okay, and all of this is under SwaYaan initiative. So let's talk about these two things one by one. Okay, so about NIDAR. So NIDAR under Project SwaYaan aims to inspire and engage Indian students and research communities to develop collaborative autonomous drones. So all these researchers would come together to build drones, addressing real world challenges across two critical domains. So the thing is, in this NIDAR challenge, basically government has said that it's a contest and all these researchers and students would come together and build drones across two themes. You will build drones for disaster management. Okay, whenever there is a disaster, you fly drones to locate stranded people who are stranded in remote locations, then deliver supplies if they're stuck in a particular place. So build drones for disaster management, build drones for precision agriculture. You can use drones to spray fertilizers, pesticides. Okay, this is known as precision agriculture. So this contest will be across these two themes. The challenge offers a total prize pool of 40 lakhs along with opportunities for startup incubation, cloud credit, software support and internships. So whoever will win this challenge might get up to 40 lakhs and these opportunities as well. Now remember, NIDAR initiative is under SwaYaan. So what is SwaYaan? We'll talk about this. So approved by MeitY in July 2022, focuses on capacity building for human resource development. Okay. Now what do you mean by human resource development? Well, for India to become a global leader in drone production, you need to skill people. You should have enough skilled personnel, skilled labor force to develop drones, because drones is a high-tech pursuit. It requires high technology speciality. So you need to prepare India's youth, okay, so that they are literate enough, so that they are well versed with these technological challenges, so that they can be employed in drone companies and build good quality drones. Clear? So this program basically focuses on human resource development of skills, okay, among people. SwaYaan engages industry partners through innovation challenges and industry meets, reinforcing the link between academic training and companies. Aim is to train 42,560 participants, combining both formal and non-formal educational programs to create a skilled workforce in drone technology. Now, the thing is, this program will work through hub and spoke model. Okay, what do you mean by hub and spoke model? These premier institutes, 30, Indian Institute of Sciences, IITs, triple IITs, Indian Institute of Information Technology, NITs, Center for Development of Advanced Computing and NEILTs. These will be premier institutions. And then there will be smaller colleges which would work as affiliates of these premier institutions. Okay. So this is hub and spoke model. IITs would act as hub and smaller colleges or smaller drone centers would act as its affiliates, spokes. Clear? This initiative will work on 5 key themes: drone electronics, GNC algorithms. Okay, GNC stands for guidance, navigation, and control. So all these drones should have proper guidance, navigation, control systems. So you need computer science engineers for that. So this simulation, aeromechanics, drone applications, and allied unmanned aerial systems technology. Okay, so these are the themes for it. Clear? Now let's move forward to third news item, which is UN Water Development Report. Now, United Nations World Water Development Report 2025, whose theme was Mountains and Glaciers Water Towers. This was released to mark the this was released basically, and this was released by UNESCO World Water Assessment Program. This report was released. Okay, and this report highlighted the importance of glaciers for meeting freshwater requirements of humanity, because most of the rivers in the world are glacier fed. If these glaciers are going to melt away, then you won't have enough water in these rivers and people are going to die of thirst. Water sustains life basically, right? So this report, published by UNESCO World Water Assessment Program, highlighted the importance of glaciers. That is why the theme of this report was Mountains and Glaciers Water Towers. Okay, as you can see, water towers, right? Now, what did this report say? It said that global warming is basically harming our glaciers. Okay, and if this persists, if this continues, then these glaciers would melt beyond repair and irreversible damage would be caused and we would be short of water. Now, this report basically sounded alarm bells, okay, with respect to glaciers, and it wanted to basically put the focus back on preservation of these glacial systems. Okay, now what were these alarm bells? So glacier is melting. 5 of the last 6 years registered largest losses of glaciers. 450 gigatons of glaciers were lost in 2024 alone. Then, loss of permafrost. Now, what is permafrost? Basically, permafrost are those soils in colder regions, okay, or ground, which remains frozen for more than at least 2 years. So, any piece of ground or soil that remains frozen, that means their temperature is either 0 degrees Celsius or below that. Okay, it remains frozen continuously for more than 2 years, is known as permafrost. It's mostly found in high mountainous regions and Arctic regions, Antarctic regions. Okay, now permafrost is melting, acceleration in thawing of permafrost. Okay, now the problem with permafrost is that this permafrost has trapped carbon inside it. If this permafrost melts, this carbon will be released in the atmosphere, further accelerating global warming. Plus, this report says that snow cover is declining, erratic snowfall patterns are being seen. Okay, now this report says that this is something that we have seen so far. Now, what are the consequences of these things? What will happen if this process continues? Well, it will lead to more global warming. Mountain soils with permafrost contain approximately 4.5% of global soil organic carbon. As the permafrost thaws, this organic carbon is released into the atmosphere, exacerbating climate change. Plus, this snow cover, glaciers, all of this, well, they are white in color, right? And the best part about white color is that it reflects back solar rays. Now, this is known as the albedo of Earth. Albedo means the capability of Earth to reflect back solar rays. Now, these snow-capped mountains, snow glaciers, they reflect back solar rays. But if these glaciers are going to melt, ice sheets are going to melt, Earth's albedo would decline. And when Earth's albedo would decline, Earth would capture more solar heat, further increasing global warming. Then, if glaciers continue to melt, it would lead to water shortage, right? It would also lead to disasters because these glaciers form glacial lakes. But if water in these glacial lakes increases because of glacial melting, then it would lead to glacial lake outburst floods, which were seen in Assam, Sikkim, Arunachal. Okay, so this is a problem. Then sea level rise. According to World Glacier Monitoring Services, melted ice of glaciers accounts for 25 to 30% of currently observed increase in global sea levels. If this process continues, sea level is going to further rise and it would harm our coastal cities basically. Clear? Okay. So this is something that was mentioned in this report. Clear? Now also remember that March 22 is celebrated as World Water Day. Okay, and this report, UNESCO this time also basically designated a day. Okay, It said that from now onwards, March 21 shall be celebrated as World Glaciers Day. So March 21 is World Glaciers Day, March 22 is World Water Day. Just remember this fact. Okay. And now we move on to the last topic of the day, which is Section 79 of IT Act. Elon Musk owned X, formerly Twitter, has challenged the government's use of Section 79, Clause 3, Subclause B of Information Technology Act 2000 to moderate and order the removal of content on social media. Basically, the thing is that if government feels that on social media platforms some wrongful content, hate speech is being done, then government passes an order. Okay? And government gives that order to social media companies to remove that content. Clear? Now, Elon Musk says that government passes this order under Section 79 of IT Act. And he says that this Section 79 is against free speech, freedom of speech and expression. And free speech is a right guaranteed under Indian Constitution as well, not just US, Indian Constitution. Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause A, guarantees freedom of speech and expression. So Elon Musk says he has filed a case in Karnataka High Court, and he says Section 79 is being used by government to trample free speech, because through this Section 79 they give us orders to delete some posts or some videos or some or any other file. Okay, so he says that Section 79 is not right. He says that government is basically using Section 79 to bypass some of the safeguards for free speech in IT Act. So within IT Act, there are some safeguards against government action against free speech. But government is using Section 79 to bypass those safeguards, okay, and trampling free speech. So what is this issue all about? Okay, let's talk about this. So about IT Act. So look, back in the day, Information Technology Act had a section called Section 66A. It criminalized sending offensive messages through communication devices. So if you are using computer, phone to send offensive messages, hate speech, anything, okay, then you can be prosecuted, even jailed or fined. A criminal case would be lodged against you as per Section 66A. The problem with Section 66A was that its language was very vague. That means you might have posted normal content, but government can say this is hate speech and would prosecute you. Okay, so government was the final deciding authority what constitutes as hate speech and what not. What is offensive, what is not offensive. Okay, sometimes government misused this power under Section 66A to prosecute people who did not post anything hateful or who did not post anything wrongful, offensive. But government said it is wrongful, and they prosecuted that person, and that person had no remedy. So in 2015, a petition was filed in the Supreme Court saying that Section 66A of IT Act is unconstitutional. It is violative of Article 19, freedom of speech and expression. And the Supreme Court said yes. So Supreme Court struck down this Section 66A. Okay? And it said that this is unlawful, unconstitutional. That's it. But the thing is, the government said that yes, you might say that we were wrongfully prosecuting people under Section 66A, but this is also true that there are some people who post offensive, hateful stuff online. So how would we prosecute them? So for that, there was Section 69A of the Act. Under this Act, government can still order you or order social media companies, okay, to remove hateful content, offensive content, okay. But if government is passing that order, then within Section 69A, there are some safeguards so that this Section 69A is not misused by the government. Section 66A was misused by the government because there were no safeguards. But within Section 69A, there are built-in safeguards so that government doesn't misuse them. This section allows the center to block information shared through computer resources, but unlike 66A, it contains safeguards against misuse. And what are those safeguards? Well, for blocking content under Section 69A, the center must prove that it is necessary to block this content. You see, the thing is, under Article 19, Clause 1, Clause A of our Constitution, freedom of speech is a right, fundamental right. But under Article 19, Clause 2, government says that we can apply reasonable restrictions on free speech. Free speech doesn't mean that you also post hate speech or free speech is not permission for hate speech as well, right? So government can apply reasonable restrictions on free speech also. Free speech is a fundamental right, but government can apply reasonable restrictions. And these reasonable restrictions are mentioned in Article 19, Clause 2. It means protecting sovereignty, integrity of India, public order, morality, all these things. Okay, you will study about these restrictions in your polity classes. Now, under Section 69A, government can pass an order to block content posted on social media platforms, but government has to prove that this order is necessary. And how will government prove that it is necessary? Government has to prove that this lies within Article 19, Clause 2. It is within reasonable restrictions, and government has to prove that. If government is unable to prove that, then that order will be null and void. And anyone can go to court saying that government has not been able to prove this. So this is reasonable safeguard, right? Now let's talk about Elon Musk. Now, Elon Musk says that Section 69 has reasonable safeguards. But because it has reasonable safeguards, government has started avoiding giving orders under Section 69A, and government is using Section 79 to pass these orders because Section 79 does not have these safeguards. Okay, so Elon Musk says that Section 79 should be struck down and government should pass orders only through Section 69, which has reasonable safeguards. Okay, now we need to know what is Section 79. Okay, the thing is that if you have a website and on your website we find illegal content, then the owner of that website will be prosecuted and held responsible, right? If I have a website and I have some illegal content, hate speech or anything like that on my website, I'm hosting it, then police authorities, okay, law enforcement agencies are basically within their rights to prosecute me. But the catch is, with social media platforms, this can't be applied. Why? Because social media platforms allow its users to post. So if I'm posting hate speech on Facebook, it's not, Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg shouldn't be punished. If I'm posting something hateful on Google, well, then Google's owner shouldn't be punished. I should be punished, right? So that is why social media platforms are saying that we should be protected against these prosecutions if anything bad is posted on our platforms. Why? Because we are platforms. Users post that stuff, not we. Okay? So these social media platforms get safe harbor protection. Now, what is safe harbor? It basically makes them immune to anything posted online by their users. Earlier, if your website hosts hateful content, you would be prosecuted. But if you are protected under safe harbor, then you won't be prosecuted. The author of that hate speech would be prosecuted, right? Now, Section 79 gives this safe harbor. Clear? Simple. So all social media platforms have safe harbor protection under Section 79. But Section 79 has a catch. Section 79 Clause 3 Clause B says that if there is hate speech on your platform, okay, and we, that is government, informs you that this is hate speech and you should remove it. So government passes an order that you should remove this hate speech because it is hate speech from your platform. And if you fail to comply with it, then this safe harbor protection will vanish. You won't have this safe harbor, and then we will prosecute you as well, apart from the person who has posted this. Okay, so safe harbor protection would go if you do not comply with this order. And government is using Section 79 Clause 3 subclause B to give these orders. Instead of giving orders under 69A, government is using this. And this is what Elon Musk is fighting against. Okay, make sense? I hope you got the entire issue. This is the issue. And with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I'm sure it has added value to your preparation. But it would add more value if you revise this lecture as well. So please do not forget to revise it, okay? And on that note, I'll be signing off with the promise of seeing you again with another set of news items. Thank you, everyone.